It says recording has started.
Oh my God, we're here.
I know. Welcome everyone. It is Suicide Prevention Saturday because 2 out of every 3 gun deaths you hear about are suicide related. So I am super excited because I am not here. This is pre-recorded. I am somewhere with my phone turned off with a bunch of girls on a retreat weekend. So I just want you to know, take care of yourself. It's super important. And it seems super fitting that I brought Mario on because he just did that last week or the week before.
Yeah, the week before. Yeah.
Okay. The shirt he is wearing, Mighty Oaks, is where he was. So, with that, thank you all for tuning in. I'm super excited to have my buddy Mario here tonight. Or yeah, for whenever it is, because it is actually nighttime while we're recording this, so
Oh
that
my God,
counts.
yes.
So do you just want to jump in? I know. So we tried to record this a little bit earlier, and we are going to share you a video, but it didn't share
Right,
so well. So this is our second attempt. So we're
right.
going to just talk about the video and show you where you can see it on your own when you'd like. It's only 3 minutes. You should see it.
Yep,
So.
you should definitely see it. It's actually the video is what's inspired me to go there in the first place.
Okay.
Um, when you go into the Mighty Oaks,
Okay, so
Mighty
here's Mighty
Oaks,
Oaks.
yeah, and then you go to media,
Yep.
and then you go to video,
Uh-huh.
and scroll down. You see where it says Luis Rivera's story.
Right here.
Right. So
Okay.
if you guys get a chance, man, like
Check it
I
out.
joined the Navy when I was 17. It was a way to contribute
So I'm going to give you all a disclaimer. If it stops, we're just going to come back.
to society. It's something I was very proud of. I spent the first 10 years on submarines and the last 14 years, 8 months as a SEAL. I retired as a senior chief. It wasn't until I retired that I realized that I had lost my identity, I lost my sense of purpose. My identity was as a SEAL. I was living a really selfish life. I realized there were many relationships that I was responsible for really ruining. My wife was suffering, the relationship with my children was strained. I thought there was no hope in getting them back, and so I wanted to do something. I was willing to try anything at that point. So I was introduced to Mighty Oaks with the hopes that it could possibly help me, help my situation. It allowed me to realize that my life going forward doesn't have to be based off of the mistakes that I made in my past. I looked to the purpose that God has given me. I aligned my life with His. And once that light bulb came on, everything changed. My life radically changed. My years had such an impact in my life that built a passion to continue to help men that were struggling like I was. I can relate to them because I was where they are. The message I'd like to share with the men that come to Mighty Oaks is that God made us, and even though we veered off the path that we were supposed to be on, He can restore us. The one thing that I learned through this whole process is that the more transparent and vulnerable I am for them, through that, God can change their heart. So it's really taught me humility. It's really taught me what brotherhood really is. It's really taught me what a true purpose in life can be. We were created for a purpose, and oftentimes we veer off the path and we get these scrapes and bumps and bruises and think that there's no way that we can be restored. But there is hope in God. There is hope in trusting Him and trusting those around you that trust Him and love Him. Don't give up. There is hope.
Ta-da.
well, you look at that, you got it.
I know it worked this time.
Yeah, you got it. It's really good.
All right. So So here's the other thing though that I think is important because obviously not everybody in my audience knows you necessarily. I got introduced to you because of G23, because I knew barbecue, because of DJ, and all that. So we all have this crazy family tree is how we come together on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
dysfunctional family tree, but whatever.
maybe sometimes. Um, but for people who don't know, Mario, can you give like a cute little elevator speech of your PTSD struggle and sort of like how you got from military to looking for help? Because I think this is one of the places where I find most of my military buddies get stuck is they know they're in trouble, but they don't know how to get to where you got to, which was going to Mighty Oaks.
Right. So, for all you guys that don't know, I actually retired from the military, from the army as a sergeant first class. I did 23 years. I did three combat deployments to Iraq. And what really got me into this Mighty Oaks program is the fact that I was trying different avenues, right? I was going to the vet center. I still go to the vet center. And there's another PTSD program that the VA has, and they all work to a certain point. But what I was really missing in my life is that sense of belonging. When I was in the military, I wasn't. It wasn't really affecting me as much because I was super busy. um, I was a unit first sergeant for a striker company. For you guys don't know, it's one of those very high up tempo units that you're always busy. So I never really had to worry about a lot of the things that are going on. So I'm 2 years into my retirement, and I'll be honest with you, I've been struggling a lot with transitioning back into the civilian world, and also being able to deal with the changes that are going on in my life. And I was really going into a path that I just felt like I wasn't being able to get out of it. And one time I just decided to check online. I like watching YouTube like a lot of you guys do, and I like watching a lot of military videos because it's my connection to the past, and it's something that I know and I love, right? And I really enjoy learning about other branches of service and what they do. And I remember back in the day, I watched this Discovery Channel video in which they talk about buds training and all the stuff that these guys do. Well, Luis Rivera, the guy that you see in that video, he was one of the elders there. Uh, they ended up calling him Mother because he's kind of like always took care of everybody, kind of thing. He ended up being the class leader, and took responsibilities of the responsible of his seals or candidate seals. And eventually he made it. He became a seal, and became a very successful one in that matter. And I happened to underneath that video there was that Mighty Oaks video that I saw in there. And there's actually another video that's not that one, but there's another one that says "You are not alone."
There's a whole page of them. I forgot to unmute myself.
Say what?
um, so yeah, there's a bunch of different videos on that page.
Yeah,
So
there's quite a few. There is another one that's called "You Are Not Alone," and it is one that really helped me really understand. Now, of course, I watched that one as well, but there's another one that's on YouTube
okay.
that you guys should be able to watch it. But then I started, learning about the Mighty Oaks program and what they're all about and what it is that they do. And I went and checked out their website. And I liked it. I liked everything that it was showing. It showed that, there was that peer contact that, I missed for quite a bit. And the fact that you were kind of away from everything and distractions and all that stuff was another thing that really impressed me. I was in the impression that you would have to pay for this program, but luckily it's actually free for a lot of us who attend this. Um,
But they can always use donations. We always got
oh,
to throw
they
that in
are,
there.
yeah,
You can
they
always
are.
donate.
Exactly. They are actually based on donations. So I mean, obviously, whatever. If I know there's a lot of people that have been involved in the other uh, charity group that we use. I forgot they're called. It's based in Kentucky. Um, I forgot the
So there's a lot of them actually as you start looking into them. So
right.
obviously, like you said, you already go to the VA, and so that's government funded.
Hmm.
But then there's 22 Kill was one of the ones that Barbecue was talking about last night or last week. There is the Aiming for Zero, which is a competitive thing that is under the Active Heroes.
Yeah,
I
Active
want to say
Heroes
that
is the
they're
other
in
one.
Kentucky. I think that's the
Yeah,
one.
Active Heroes is the other one.
Um,
Active Heroes is a really good organization, but it seems to me like they're still trying to get themselves to where Mighty Oaks is at. I think Mighty Oaks is way above a lot of these other organizations, and I think it's just based on the uh, the networking that they have. You know. But anyways,
so now here's the nitty gritty though. The thing that like I'm calling you to find out about is like, what was it like? Like
yeah. Let
first
me.
you made the decision to finally go. Because here's the other thing is when we talked earlier this year, you were
Mhm.
supposed to go back in the spring. And I didn't
Right.
realize you didn't go. So first I want to know
Right.
what derailed you? How come you didn't get to go earlier this year?
Honestly, I just thought it was going to be a waste of my time. To be honest with you, I felt that there were, you know, at that time, I just felt like, man, I'm going to be gone a week, and do I really want to go? Is this really worth my time? And all kinds of other excuses started popping in my head,
Mhm.
because in reality, that's what a lot of us do. We come up with excuses to not to want to do things.
I don't need this. I can handle this.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can take care of myself.
Right,
All of those
right.
things, right?
And I think that the hardest thing for a lot of us that are like senior non-commissioned officers or senior leaders is we worry about somebody else other than ourselves.
That is
And
often
we
the excuse. I
right.
can't leave because I'm taking care of so and so, and I might be bad, but they're worse, so I need
Yeah,
to take care of them.
exactly. And I had
Because
that
it's not just
mentality.
military that makes up those same excuses, though.
Right. So, I didn't go that last time. They were a bit disappointed that I didn't go. And about a month later, they contacted me again and said, "Hey, do you want to reschedule?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" At that point, I was like, I was really going through a really hard time, and I was like, you know what? I think there's a reason why they're calling me. There's a reason why I need to go to this place, and so I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even at the day of the travel, I was hesitant. I had not. I'm usually one of those that packed like a day early in advance, you know? I mean,
I don't
this
know what
was
those people are like. I think those are just weird people. But anyway, go ahead. I'm like,
it's just
if my plane is leaving at 4 a.m., I might be packing at 2 a.m. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Just that.
just, I'm kind of used to that because that's how it always has been. So, I started packing at 11 a.m. and I had to be there by 3. So it's only a 2-hour drive for me, which is not bad at all. So, anyways, I have
Oh, and
some
where are
notes.
you? Because not everybody knows where you are.
I live in Bakersfield, California, and this location is in Santa Maria, California, which is up in the coastline. It's about 2.5 hours from my location. So, anyways, I do have some notes that I want to kind of make sure that I
Okay.
that I cover, just so that
Alright.
we
Well,
are.
but so I did want to just bring up that whole thing because like people know that they need help, but they
Mhm,
don't want to take the time to take care of themselves. And for me, my little story is when I finally checked myself into a hospital because I was suicidal,
mhm.
it was like the most refreshing thing ever because I finally decided to put myself first. So the fact that you finally decided to put yourself first, then that's
Right.
awkward. But we'll let
And
you get to your notes now. I'll be quiet.
are you sure?
Yes, absolutely. I got a mute button and everything.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the application process and how that works. So the application process, you basically go online and you place your information in there, and then they usually will contact you right away. Like within 48 hours, they usually contact you, which is really really outstanding. So once they contacted you, they usually want some sort of supporting documentation. They want a DD-214 for all military folks, and for first responders, they want a letter from their agency stating that they work there. In some cases, they may want the chief of police or sheriff's letter just to make sure that they are who they say they are. One, because so many people commit fraud and all kinds of stuff, and they want to make sure that they're helping the right folks. You know.
And just I'm going to throw in here just so people get to see, um, right there, apply now. All you got to do is muddyoaksprogram.org, click on apply now,
Hmm.
and then you just choose something. Ooh, sorry. Oh no, you just scroll down and
Yeah,
voila.
you scroll down.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. It's super simple, and it only takes you a couple of minutes to fill it out. Once you fill it out, you within I could tell you within 48 hours, usually 72 hours, you get an email from them, and you're asked to submit supporting documentation. Once you do that, and you choose a date that they have available, they usually give you at least 2 or 3 dates that they have available, and also locations. So Mighty Oaks is actually um, pretty much all over the country. Their main base is in California, and but they also have locations in Texas, Virginia, and Ohio. So it all just depends on the calendar. You have to look in the calendar and see what's the closest to you. But understand, and I'm going to pretty much, people are not going to believe what I'm telling you, but it is true. These people will pay your flight to go to California if you need to go to California. I had guys there that were from Mississippi, Iowa. I had guys that are from Florida, and they flew all the way to California, and they didn't have to pay a dime for anything. So that's how committed these people are to making sure that you're taken care of.
So it is a beautiful thing because you don't have that financial worry. It's like, as you were saying, it's like the
Right.
time suck alone was like, okay, do I really want to do this? I did, because the
Hmm.
first time you bailed, and then it's just like, because of your time, then you already knew that it wasn't going to cost anything. And a lot of people
Right.
just don't realize. Now, here's the other thing though. I know some people get all hung up on the I don't need charity side of things. Did you have
Hmm.
any of that, or were you just happy that this was available?
I honestly, I kind of put my ego to the side because I know that in many ways, I'm not used to getting things for free, because I worked all my life, and I thought that I would have to, put part of the cost, and I even discussed that with them. They're like, no, you don't have to pay anything. And I was like, wow, that's cool, and it made it easier for me just to go and see what this place is all about. Now, when you get the welcome letter is going to give you all the information that you need about the place, travel, all that good stuff. What I really like about the welcome letter is that the first paragraph that's on the welcome letter tells you, "We are not here to waste your time." And to me, you saying stuff like that, that just it's really gonna make me, a true believer that your intentions are good and that you want to really help me. So um, just understand that they will confirm with you at least 2 3 times. One, because of the cost. Some of these guys are having to come across the country, so they need to make sure that you're going to attend. So they'll probably contact you like 2 3 times. Are you going to attend? They're like, yes. And they want to verify everything because it's also a logistical issue with them. They got to make sure they have enough food and
So,
lodging and other stuff.
does this mean the first time you bailed, did you feel bad because you knew all of this stuff was going on, or did you learn this when you finally went?
I learned all this when I finally went. Yeah, so I felt really
Not to
bad. I
throw
went.
guilt on you or anything, but
Yeah,
it's just
no,
like,
I did felt bad, and I did talk to the director, and I did apologize for that. And they're like, "Yeah, I understand, man. They're cool about it."
yeah.
So, but
Well, I'm sure you're not the first that has rescheduled.
well, it's
And
even worse. They were telling me about the story about this one guy that took a flight over there, and once he got to California, he decided to go back. I mean, that's a lot worse.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, oh man, that's like a big slap in the face.
Well, but people aren't ready always to, it's like I
Right,
believe in the timing of it, right? The spring was not
right.
your time, and it worked out because you didn't go then, but you got to go now.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah. I was just happy that they were willing to accept me the second time, huh? So it's
Right.
kind of cool. So, anyways, when the main like a lot of the videos and pictures that you see, a lot of it is from the California retreat, and this retreat is a very beautiful house. It's
So
like a Spanish style home. It's
there you
up
go.
on top
This
of a
one
ridge
here,
line, huh?
this one here.
Let me see. Oh, sorry.
Oh, can you
I
see
was
it or
looking at
not?
my notes. Yeah, that's it right there. It's a beautiful home,
Ah,
and
gotcha.
we don't stay in that house. That's where the cadre and the staff stay. We stay up to the right, and they're kind of like they're nice location. It's actually got like this. It's like a tent. It looks kind of like a tent, but inside is really nice. It has like four beds and has a desk and a chair and all kinds of stuff. And the beds are actually comfortable. So I was like, oh man, for a minute I thought I was back in the army having to sleep in a cot. I was like, oh,
Not
this is
that
gonna suck. Yeah, no, yeah, it was actually very nice actually. So uh, and yeah, it was the facilities were great. And actually, inside that house is they have a big living room area, and that's where we do a lot of our classes and stuff like that. So it's very cool. What I do like about this is that it kind of removes all the distractions because you're really out in the boonies. You're like at least 10 or 15 miles away from the city, and it's up on top of a ridge line, which is kind of cool. So you can kind of see the outside world, and it was beautiful. I really loved it, and it was just awesome. So the other thing I want to talk about is the staff. The staff is a majority of them are other veterans themselves. Majority of them are combat veterans.
All
There's
right.
a
So wait
couple.
a second. Would you consider becoming one of them?
No, I don't. I don't. No. No. I just
But it
it's
makes it easier, right? Because I mean, one of the
it
things
it,
we talked about
it
is
does
vets
makes it
want to talk
easier.
to other vets.
Yeah, no, it's just I think the kind of commitment that you need to become a mentor, it's a little too much for me. And I've been away from my family enough that I would not want to do that again because these guys are usually going 2, 3 times a year, for a week.
Mhm.
And I mean, they're doing this, they're all volunteers, man. They're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. So it's like,
Just
wow.
just like you and I talking about you talking about PTSD, me talking
Mhm.
about suicide prevention, all of that on our YouTube. We're volunteers. We're just volunteers at a different level.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
And I got to ask though, it's military, so it doesn't matter whether you're Army, Navy, Air Force.
Right. I would probably say that most of the cadre, and a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for this, but there's only one Navy guy, which is Luis, right? And he's a
Uh-huh.
SEAL, so he's like, all right, he's cool. Uh, and the rest of the staff is the Army Marines.
Yeah,
So that's it. That's pretty much it. Just that's majority of the staff there, and it was cool. It's cool from to meeting a lot of the guys and meeting what they're all about. What I really do like about the staff is that they're all very welcoming. They're very reassuring. And I think what I really like the most is that every one of them gave their testimony. Every one of them, talked about their good, their bad, and their ugly. And I mean, some of the stuff that they talked about was very personal. And I mean, I appreciate the fact that they did that because it kind of helped a lot of us understand that, hey, you know what? You're not alone. You're not the only one that's going through a lot of this stuff. So that really helped us quite a bit.
So
Um,
the fact that the counselors were also letting you know that they'd been there too,
oh,
not
absolutely.
you're in a room full of other people who are looking for
Right.
assistance, help,
Uh,
and on how to get better.
right.
I mean, so what would you say the main purpose is? Because it's just like for me, when I went to group therapy, it was, hey, A, you're not alone. B, other people have it better or worse than you. So, you're somewhere in the middle usually.
Hmm.
But it's just like, and then tools on how to and what things have helped other people and, get an idea of what to do. So, what was it like for you?
I would probably say that for me is the fact that a lot of things that they discuss in their testimonials is stuff I did, stuff that we all did. We abused, alcohol. We weren't, you know, quite right with our partners. We weren't quite right with our kids, and it's like everything that I've been through. I've pretty much done. They've done it as well. I mean, some have done it more extreme than others,
Right.
but the fact that there's that genuine, you know, openness about them is what I really appreciated the most. Um, and of course, the classes that we did were very, man. I can tell you that those classes really open up your eyes and really touch your soul as far as like what's important in your life, what really matters in your life. And after every class, we had a discussion. We had to kind of discuss the class itself and the content. And it was tough because there's times where it made me feel horrible because some of the stuff that we're talking about in there, I was not doing the right thing as a man or as a father or a husband. It's just I wasn't doing it. And it kind of opened up my eyes. There's two things that really resonated with me. One is the fact that they told me that quit being a victim. And honestly, it kind of opened up my eyes because,
I'm going to
you're
say
right.
amen to that one
Yeah.
for sure.
Quit being a victim,
Yeah.
and how is it that you endure all the things that you've endured and all of a sudden you want to become a victim, you know? And it just opened up my eyes because that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been kind of using my struggles and my issues as an excuse to not be the right person.
It's not like you were going around thinking that way, though. You didn't realize it
No,
until someone showed
not
you
at
or
all.
was talking about it, right?
Right,
And
right.
I think this is the biggest challenge because when I was a teen and I was suicidal about stuff, it was just like, oh, no one will miss me if I'm gone. Oh, the world is better off if I'm not here.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And it was all about me. And I didn't realize how selfish I
Hmm.
was really being.
Exactly.
And it's just like, in talking about suicide, it's one of those things. It's like when you're in that place, you're drowning, but you don't
Absolutely.
realize what you're drowning in.
Right.
And so it's just like, it sounds like, you went to some awesome classes to help you get through some of that and understand
Hmm.
how that's all working out. So
Right.
now that
And
you're not a victim anymore, how is life going to change for you?
well, I have to look at things in a different perspective. I really, after that, it's just like, it's like you're right, man. How is it that I led all these men in combat and all this, and all of a sudden I'm playing the victim? Like, what the hell's wrong with me? You know? And the other thing is, they said, hey, you need to be a leader. Just because you're not wearing a uniform doesn't mean you're not a leader. It doesn't mean you shouldn't lead your family and stuff like that. And it's like it resonated with me. It really did. because
Yeah.
it's something I haven't been doing, you know?
Well, and I have to ask though too, it's like because I'm not from a military family. I've got relatives and stuff that have served, but it's like if I was deployed and
Hmm.
my husband and kids were home taking care of stuff without me, when I would come home, I would imagine that I wouldn't feel like I was really that needed because they took care of it all without me. And
Yes, yes, and no, and I would tell you that one, it's good that you have a partner that's high strong and can take care of stuff while you're gone,
mhm,
and but two, um, when you get home, you need to be the head of the household. You need to be that leader. You need to make sure that you're taking care of the things you need to take care of and be responsible for it.
yeah,
And in most cases, I was just shutting down. I would just sit in my couch and not do anything all day and not really care, and I kept saying, "Oh, woe is me," and how I miss my guys, I miss, like, you know, miss that camaraderie and that brotherhood. But when it comes down to it, uh, you know, the people that are going to be there is my family. So you have to be respectful of that, and you have to be understanding of that. So believe me, it was those were not easy classes. That was not those days were not easy, and they'll be straight with you when they go in there. The days are long,
yeah.
and the days are tough, but
But
in
so are you.
reality, yeah.
So
But in the day you'll overcome it, you'll become a better person for it, and I think that's the most important thing that I got out of this.
very
So
cool. And yeah, emotional stuff is super hard. It's like I understand you're a soldier and all of that, and it's just like, and you've gotten through stuff that most of us civilians cannot fathom
right,
what you've had to
yeah,
do.
hmm,
Um, but yet the emotional side of it hits us both just as hard.
right,
It's like getting your heart and your head right is
right.
exhausting.
It
It,
is. And another thing that they talked about is putting on this mask. I have a tendency of putting this mask, and you would see me on social media and I'm smiling and it looked like I'm having fun, but in reality inside I was dying, man. I wasn't myself. I wasn't who I wanted to be. And after having those classes, I was like, wow, you know I didn't think of it that way, but I think the one thing that got to me and kind of had that shock and awe effect on me, kind of like what we do when we go and hit our enemy, is that they showed us a video. They showed us a video of a spouse who lost her husband to suicide, and she talks about how this affected her, affected her kids, affected everybody else. And after watching that video, I was I was destroyed, man, because I wasn't thinking how this would really affect my family, and it would have affected them greatly.
oh
Maybe
yeah,
scarred them for life.
yep.
I got to stop and think about my daughter, especially my youngest daughter. She is very close to me, and I can just imagine how that would affect her and affect her.
And this is definitely something that people who die by suicide don't think about. They, like I
Mhm,
said, for me, I know personally, I'm like, oh, everyone will be better off without me. Oh, I won't be a burden
right.
anymore. Oh, all of those things. And that's why their mind is wrong
Hmm.
because you're a husband and
Hmm.
a dad, and so you've got lots of things. But it's like people who are single and don't have a family, you still affect people, and you just don't necessarily know it. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm doing a radio show on Mondays right now, and we were talking about this, and it's like the truth of the matter is, you have no idea how many lives you've already saved.
Hmm.
In that, when's the last time you called one of your battle buddies randomly? Whether they complained about anything being not okay or not, the fact that
Hmm.
you reached out and said something may have made a difference.
Oh,
And
absolutely. For me, is one instance is that I didn't pick up the phone. And for many years that hurt me because I could have probably saved my fellow soldier. I mean, he is one of those guys that contact me all the time, and he was kind of a pain. I'm not gonna lie to you. And there's times that maybe that's the reason why I didn't pick up. But then, 24 hours later, find out that he's dead. It
Right.
just it destroyed me. It made me even go into a deeper depression because I felt like, hey, you know what? Um, he was trying to reach out, and I wasn't there. So, um,
So I'm guessing you guys probably had some survivor's guilt
oh
workshop
yes,
stuff going on there too, as well,
right,
right? Because it's
absolutely.
not just suicide that takes out your brother and sisters in arms.
Right. No, we talk about everything, man. We talk about, uh, I can't really go too much into the curriculum because
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really feel that people need to show up and experience it themselves. I think it's something that they need to do themselves and be able to understand, that this is a hard thing. And I'm not gonna lie to you. 3 out of the 5 days, I was crying a lot. I don't cry. I don't cry at all, man.
See, you're talking to
And
someone who cries at a sad
and
commercial.
I'm like,
We've
yeah,
had a half dead mouse in our front hall the other day, and I'm like, oh, the poor thing. Yeah, no, I cried everything, dude. I am,
no,
yeah,
I don't cry. And
yeah. Well, you didn't used to, but now you do.
yeah, and I kind of didn't like it because I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Like, this isn't me.
I don't know that
But
there's anyone who likes to cry, honestly.
yeah,
And like I said, I'm a professional crier. I will cry
yeah,
if you say thank you for having me. I'm like that kind of crier. It's
right,
brutal for me. And it
right.
also makes everyone else uncomfortable. But
But I mean, to be honest with you,
mm,
it's okay because women are more emotional than men. I mean, men are not supposed to be that emotional.
yeah,
It's in our nature not to be that way because in most cases we're the providers, and stuff like
well,
that. I'm not trying to get into the whole
you get
macho
to
man thing
stack
here.
on top of that that you're a soldier. So
Yeah,
you're really, really not supposed to cry
right.
as a
And
soldier, right?
right, exactly, because
So
we have this suck it up, drive on mentality.
suck it
That's
up, buttercup. That's what I know.
that's just one of those things. And that's something I talked about in my group meeting. As I told them, look, man, when you get to a certain level in the military, when you're a senior leader, like, how many people can you go to?
Yeah.
And then in most cases, I already know what my sergeant major is going to say. But, hey, man, you be all right. Drive on, baby.
Hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I did a thing about like resources, and one of the things I went to was the VA, and it was again back to the videos that are resources online,
Hmm.
and it was one that was called "I'm fine" or I'm good,"
Hmm.
and it showed a whole bunch of different soldiers saying, "Yeah, I'm good," like just that little clip, and then
Hmm.
it continued on, and it's sort of a little bit like the Mario yeah, there we go. Um, the other ones the one we watched earlier
Yeah.
where it's like, "I'm fine, but I've lost
Listen,
my identity.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
fine,
straight with
but
you.
I'm really struggling." So,
I have a problem with the VA and their videos because a lot of them seem to me like they're propaganda. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, they
yeah,
want to make it seem like everything is hunky dory, and if you take your pills, you'll be fine, and you go see your doctor, your shrink, you'll be fine.
right,
And the thing about it is that everybody has different types of stuff that they're dealing with. It's not
exactly.
just one thing. Like you alluded to earlier. It's like I had so many titles, I had so many responsibilities. So, having all those things, on my plate, in a way, it was hard, but it kind of kept me away from that dark side that I was in. But for me, is having to retire in the middle of the pandemic
Mhm,
and then not being able to find a job because of all the stuff that's going on. And then all of a sudden, you should start getting into this dark place where you didn't want to be at. You start having all these thoughts about everything that you've done and everything that you've could have prevented and stuff like that, and it just continues to add and add. And in most cases, we wear the mask. We start telling everybody, "Oh, I'm good. I'm fine or whatever."
Yeah.
But in reality, they're not. But they feel like they don't have a lot of people they can talk to.
Oh, yeah. So just
And
in case you didn't already know, you are married, so you probably know this. But when a woman says fine, do you know what the acronym for that is?
that means no, they're not fine. That
No,
means
freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
uh,
FINE.
ah,
So,
yeah. And I'll be honest with you. And speaking about spouses, I think the hardest thing that I had a problem with is that um, my wife didn't really understand what I was going through until she experienced it herself. Because she was one of the essential workers because she works in the farming industry.
mhm,
Uh, you know, she started seeing a lot of her friends get COVID and all kinds of stuff. And then, when she was not at work, she was at home, cooped up like me, and she started having issues with anxiety.
yeah.
And this is
Oh,
something
yeah,
she's never had.
COVID brought that out
Yeah.
like crazy, or the
and
way that we
and,
dealt with COVID.
and she started complaining to me about it, and I was like, I deal with that every day. I don't know what you're talking about. That's just one of my things that I deal with.
Right. Well, and the spouses I've
And
talked to who have spouses with PTSD, it's like they are lost as well because they
right,
see you suffering. They would love to do something for you, but they have no idea how
right.
to help you, how to deal with that.
And that's
So,
the reason why I kind of created my YouTube page, and I created that PTSD Combat Veteran series, where my videos talk a lot about that. I mean, the reason why I created those is one, to teach the spouses, the loved ones, how to deal with somebody who has PTSD, what their thought process is, and how they're dealing with stuff. I think the one video that's gotten the most views out of it is the one that I talk about relationships, and it hits hard to a lot of spouses. And I've gotten so many comments and from that video, and it makes me feel good, because maybe I probably saved one or two people's relationships from it. You know, so I'm just thankful that I was able to do that, and I was able to reach out to people. Uh, you know, and so yeah, I mean it's good. I just think that the more we provide to others and provide resources, that they can be better able to deal with this stuff, because unfortunately PTSD doesn't go away. It's not like one of those things you can take a magic pill and it's suddenly gone. I mean,
it's more like herpes, it stays on forever.
thank you for putting that way.
Well, it never goes away. It's like a virus. All right, so hold on, hold on. All right, so where is it? So here are your
You go to
videos.
playlist, go to playlist.
All right.
Uh-huh. And then where's it at? Yeah, that
Yes,
one right
please.
there.
What's that?
Yeah, that one.
That
That
one.
series, yeah.
Oh,
There's
wait.
a
Hold on.
there's that one with the no, that one right there. No, go back down. The one, the relationships,
Oh,
that one.
this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
All
I
right.
was actually very sick at that time when I
Okay.
was making this video, but I
I'll
was
give you
kind of
one more like, and I will share this to
thank you.
everybody. Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
can do this. We can edit this and all of that fun stuff, and then we'll put
Yeah.
you
So
back up.
it's one of those videos that, it just, I guess it hit home with a lot of people, and they were able to understand it. And that helped. Who the hell is coming to my house?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I
sorry.
know you said everyone was working, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was like, who's that?
You have guests, so should I let you go? I don't even.
No, we
Okay.
are good.
All right.
Sorry, it's just my sense of, I think it was just a delivery guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we can
So
send you presents or something.
probably, I don't know.
Oh, actually, wait, hold on. I'm gonna go full screen for just a second because
Okay.
speaking of presents, when it comes to stuff of how we're doing, I don't know if you can see. It's always
Go
awkward
up.
to do this
Go up.
backwards, but see, I'm fine. But this is what we look like inside. It's like I'm fine, but this is how I'm
Everything's
feeling.
fine.
Wait, sorry, I
Yeah.
keep putting it the wrong way. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that.
That's
Um,
funny.
I actually,
That is funny.
yes, I'm not wearing that shirt today, but earlier this morning, this is how I felt. And then we had a nice little fire in the backyard, and I just sat there, and it was beautiful. And I remember that life is amazing, a blessing, and we're all blessed. We just have to remember to pay attention to the fact that there's blessings that go along with
there
all of
there
the
is, you
hard
know,
stuff.
and stop and think about it. Think about what you're doing right now and what you are doing for other people. I mean, what's great about YouTube is the fact that we get to interact with so many people, not just in our country. I mean, all over the country. I mean, there's PTSD in every veteran that's gone to war. So I mean, obviously, a lot of the stuff that I go through, pretty much everybody's gone through. So let me so where we left off. Oh yeah. So by the way, the food is amazing there. They Yeah, they actually have a chef that showed up over there. I'm not lying to you. They have a chef and he was cooking for us. His name was Kenny. And first night we were there, we got a steak. I was like, with potatoes and I think it was green beans or the other stuff, but it was good. It was amazing. I was like, whoa, that was awesome. And we got fed 3 times a day. I think I gained another 10 pounds, made me look fatter, but no, it was cool. You're muted.
I realized that because the little thing says, "Hey, you're muted." I said it's all relative, how fatter you look or not. No one
Yeah.
sees what you look like on the scale, so you're fine.
Yeah, no, it's cool. But no, it was great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But
Good food.
I would probably say the fourth day was the hardest because everybody had an opportunity to tell their testimony, and I was gonna be I was a bit hesitant. I'm not gonna lie to you because there's so much stuff that I haven't you know inside of me that I didn't want to let out, and I wasn't sure how people would see me afterwards. But after doing the testimony and being able to tell people what I've been going through and all this other stuff, it really, really just helped me heal in many ways. And what was interesting is that there was one of my battle buddies in that group. If you would listen to my story and you would listen to his story, it's verbatim pretty much. I mean, honestly, it was so close to what we were going through. He was in Afghanistan, I was in Iraq. And after both of us finding out about that, we embraced, and we cried our butts off, man, because I think we both just were dealing with a lot of dealing with all this stuff just bottled up.
And while you got to
And
cry your butts off, you got 5 pounds lighter. So the
yeah,
50
exactly.
doesn't matter
Something,
anymore.
something. Yeah, something gave. But the fifth day was great, man. We did the photo, the group photo, and we got all kinds of goodies and stuff. I mean, these people are just so giving, man. Like this is
Oh,
some of the stuff that
more
they gave
swag.
us. Like they gave me all these literature, like PTSD, The Praying Husband, Leadership by Design, and this one is an unfair advantage. And this was actually done um, by the actual founder of Mighty Oaks, is Chad Rubishow.
Okay.
He is former Special Forces, Marine Recon, and he's the one that kind of started this with his wife. The other thing that I really loved, well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they gave me, but they gave me a warrior's Bible. Now,
Oh.
what I really like about this Bible is that it kind of breaks it down Barney style for a lot of us in the military.
All
You
right. So
know,
whether or not that we are not, what is Barney style?
it
Like
breaks
Barney's
it down.
wife?
Yeah, it
Like,
breaks it down to basic stuff. Like breaks it down to children's level. You
gotcha.
know,
Third grade
yeah,
level
third
reading.
grade level. There
I
you go.
believe
So
is what been told that all the Army literature is at is like third grade reading level. I'm like,
no,
okay.
it's seventh grade, but
Oh, it is. All
yeah,
right. Well,
seventh
they must
grade.
have. See, see. This is the problem with
And,
like all the lies that are out there.
and we put pictures on it, so we call them dummy instructions, but they're there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
someone made a lot of money with the.
don't worry, the Marines do the same thing. It's all good.
Oh yeah, no, I meant military. I think I said Army, but like military across the
Yeah,
board, as
we
far
we
as
all
I
do.
knew. So.
We all talk a lot of smack, but I swear to God, man, don't let nobody else talk about us, because oh man,
But it's like,
that's a
no.
different story right there.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, I see it all the time.
yeah, there's
So, but
one
yeah,
more
no,
thing
reading
that,
is awesome. Reading is a great way to go.
yeah, they actually gave me this really cool gift called the Rudis, and it's basically like a like the wooden sword from the Romans. You know, like when you're taken off from slavery and you're free.
Okay.
Basically, it's kind of like that, but it's kind of cool because it has your.
Here, I gotta make you bigger. There we
Oh
go.
yeah, that's
That's
nice.
better. My
So
bad.
that's
Oh,
pretty
it's got
cool,
your
man.
name on it and
They got my name
everything.
on it, my branch of
Dude, we can
service.
now dox you, man. You're
I'm
done.
telling you, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely one of my cherished things that I'll have, and it's actually given to all the guys that graduate. But they also give you a coin. Wait, there's more. They give you a coin, which is kind of cool.
Gotcha.
So the one of this says some things are worth fighting for, and it says never fight alone. It's pretty cool. Of course, they gave me the shirt. And this one, it says Mighty Oaks, from the ashes to mighty oaks. It's Isaiah 61. So this is the Mighty Oaks Warrior Program. So it's pretty cool. Um, really, really nice. I mean, these people are so nice and giving. But I think the one thing that I gained the most is a perspective of myself, a perspective that I'm not alone, and that I have friends and brothers that I can talk to. Um, but I also want to tell you guys something. There's also a women's legacy program, and there's also a um, I'm sorry, yeah, it's a women's legacy program, and they also have another one. I think is called resiliency for active duty folks. So I think there's a I think a lot of women could definitely benefit from the women's resiliency, because it's not only just women veterans, but it's also spouses. So being able to kind of relate to the same issues, it's always good. And I'm glad that they actually want to recognize our women veterans, because a lot of them go through the same ordeals as we do, and those and I just feel that it's a good thing and it's a worthwhile thing.
It's
So
always good to know you're not alone. And I mean,
mhm,
and this is the other thing that you said I think is so key, and I hope nobody missed it, is that you learned a lot about yourself
yep,
because like no one can save you except for you. It,
yeah,
it,
most
it's
definitely.
it's like part of the survivor's guilt, part of the ooh, what can I do? What can I do? Often is all you can do is lead them to water. It's up to them to drink. It's up to them to cry their asses off. All of those things. It's like your wife, myself, any of the counselors could not make you feel better or make you have the things they can
And
lead
is
you to it, but
it I
you
I
have to be
don't
the one
think
who does it.
I mean, honestly, all that you just talked about is good. I mean,
Yeah,
having a support system from your spouse or your friends, having those are all great things. And I
right.
think honestly, when you're going through the stuff that I was going through, you don't think about those do not seem to you like they're important to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, once you go through these kind of programs, and they kind of like open your eyes and really make you think about what you're doing and what you've been experiencing, then is when you start really understanding it. I am so thankful that I have so many great friends, including yourself, and
Thank
and of
you.
course, yeah, and I'm so thankful that if I ever need your help, if I ever need someone to talk to, I know that you'll pick up your phone, and you
As
will
long as
listen
I
to
can
me.
find it. I lost it most of today. Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, but I have such great support groups here, and I'm very thankful for that. What I really feel about Mighty Oaks and what makes it better is just that peer that the peer counseling, the peer bonding with other people that have been through the same situations as you've been through. um I do want to talk about one more thing, and that is
One more
first
thing.
responders.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We had this, remember, this program is also for first responders as well. We had four of them in my class, and one of them was a California Highway Patrol officer. Two of them were retired Maricopa Sheriff's Department. We had a deputy from a from an agency in Florida, in Tampa area, and we had, and I believe that was it. And also one of the mentors was an undersheriff, uh, in, I believe, in Iowa, or I believe so, in Iowa or Indiana, one of those states. But if you know of any of your friends that are also going through this stuff, because I think a lot of us, especially after listening to their stories, you have no idea what first responders have to deal with. At least for me, being in the military, I spend a year, or 18 months in country, and I'm done. I go home. uh, for these guys, they see that every day, man, and they have to put on the uniform every day. And it's just one of those things that you don't stop and think about it, and you really don't appreciate it. So if any of you guys know of anybody who's also a first responder, I would urge you guys to ensure that they contact the Mighty Oaks program, because I think it's not only good for military folks, it's great for all of our first responders. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on the Mighty Oaks program, legacy program. It was
Yeah.
great. It was a great experience, and I would urge a lot of you guys that are thinking about it, to do it. It's and also, if you guys really find this cause to be this organization to be something that you're willing to support, please support it. Donate. This is a nonprofit organization, and I'm sure they could use every little bit of money they can to make sure that we get a lot of our warriors out there and get them some help that they
So
need.
everyone gets to have a steak because we really want this
Everybody gets a
steak.
steak. Yep. And it was good too, man. I was like,
It's a good steak.
yeah, it was
And you
good.
cry your asses off because that's also super important.
That is very important. Yes.
Uh, but it is, yeah, it's awesome. Now, here's the other thing that I didn't even ask you in the beginning is like,
Mhm.
who really wants to ever go? Whoever wants to actually admit that they've got a problem? And here's the thing that I hear all the time is like, oh, I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself. And it's like, well, even though this is Suicide Prevention Saturday, it doesn't mean that you have to be struggling that hard that you think you're going to kill yourself to go here, right? This is just,
Right. And
if
I
you are
think,
struggling getting back
right.
into feeling disconnected, it's
Mhm.
not just all about, oh, I was suicidal, therefore I need help kind of thing,
And,
right?
and and the same people that we're talking about, they have suicidal thoughts, but they don't want to admit to them. Like I tell you, they wear that mask, and they say, "Oh, I'm fine. I don't need this help." Especially a lot of our guys that been there for a long time. I mean, one of our mentors was a retired colonel from the Marine Corps. I mean, you can't get more higher than that, other than being a general. But if somebody like this gentleman decided to get help, there's no reason why you can't get help. You got to put your ego to the side and understand that when you go to these things, it's all about you. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. That whole week that you're there is for your time to heal. It's for your time to to let it all out and get some help. Um,
So
I
did you
just
go
think,
from Saturday to Friday is when you
no,
went?
yeah, we went from Monday to Saturday. It was like
Okay.
Saturday morning. I ended up leaving. And it was kind of cool because everybody wanted to. I kind of wanted to see the guys that were getting ready to fly out. Wanted to see them go, and just say my goodbyes. But you can actually, if you local, you can actually leave on a Friday. But decided to stay there till Saturday, and say goodbye to my guys, and say thank you to all the staff, because there's a lot of staff there that really put this thing together. And I really feel that at least shaking their hand and saying thank you is the least I could do. you know and like I was telling you, I was able to interact with Luis, and Luis is a great guy, man. He is just an amazing, amazing human being.
Did,
And
did his little heart melt when you told him that he was the reason you were there?
oh yeah, it really shocked him actually, because he
Yeah,
never thought that, making a video and telling your testimony like that would anticipate somebody to go.
yeah.
And when I told him that, he was a little bit shocked. He's like, "What, really?" He's like, "Yeah, man." And I said, "Thank you." And we had got a chance to chat, and just a really nice guy, man. Just, one of the nicest, cool guys I've ever met. I mean, I met a lot of guys in special operations, but um, I don't know. I could definitely relate with him and other stuff. Sorry, it's my
Oh, I'm looking for my husband's ring phone. I'm like, wait a second.
no, it's mine.
I'm like, I
I
turned my
don't
phone
even
off,
know.
didn't I?
Yeah, I don't even know who's in the front door, but whatever.
You got more presents. You got more fans dropping stuff
Yeah.
off for you.
Yeah, I think it was a UPS guy. Okay.
So, well, I will say, and I think maybe we'll end on this because I know you said we had an hour, so we're at our hour. But like you telling him that he's the reason you were there,
Mhm.
there's comments, I'm sure, on your videos of people saying thank you for sharing your story.
Mhm.
I was blessed this morning to have someone come up to me and say, hey, make sure you keep doing these Saturday things because you never know who you're going to touch. Because she's like, I watched the replay. And the thing that I loved the most was someone said they're having a bad day. And I reminded them they're not having a bad day, they're having a bad moment. And to pay attention to the rest of the day because it's actually pretty awesome.
Mhm.
And so we don't often get the feedback of all the stuff that we put out there. So we don't know. And this is the thing, just keep going because you don't know how you are actually going to truly affect somebody else.
Right. And honestly, I just do it because if I feel like I can make a difference in one person, then I'm doing something. And I've always have felt that, a sense of service and helping others, and that's really what's been all my life. I mean, 23 years in the army, it's a long time, man. It's a long time to give your service in your best years of your life to one organization.
Yes, it
But
is.
you stop and think about it, and you look at all of the bad things that I saw in war and how much people really hate us. It really makes you want to, be there, because I still, to this day, I think American society takes their liberties for granted, and they
Yes,
don't
I do.
they do not appreciate what a veteran has done, or veteran law enforcement has, first responder, sorry, has done for them, just so that they are able to live a better life, and they never really get the recognition. I mean, reality, I'm not all about the recognition,
Hmm.
but I think the only thing that I would want is I would want people to better understand us and understand the sacrifices that we made.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And it's that's it. I mean, I miss too many birthdays and anniversaries and all kinds of stuff. And
Christmases and
good,
holidays
I missed
and
all that. And Father's Days, I think I missed every Father's Day in my 23 years. That really sucked.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that really sucked.
Well, to be
But
fair, only Mother's Day matters.
that is true. That is true. I mean, honestly, you guys had to carry a baby for 9 months. Yeah,
Oh.
and then I seen you. After seeing my wife give birth, I was like, "Yep, I am not gonna complain. I'll take my socks and my cup says number one dad all day long."
There you go. It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
So, all right. Well, this ends our Suicide Prevention Saturday for today. This is my second time having you on, I think.
I know. I'm starting to
Um,
become a regular here. My God.
I know. Well, it's so funny because there's like G23, who is who I originally met you through,
Uh-huh.
is still supposed to come on, and I'm just like, I do this so sporadically, these long version ones. So I have to work on him next. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm just super excited that you went and took care of yourself and did
Yeah,
what you needed to do to help build
absolutely.
yourself up. Now you've got tools for yourself, but that you can now share on your channel as well. So that's
Yeah,
super awesome. And I'm
absolutely.
super excited. This is pre-recorded because I am currently with a bunch of girls with my phone off. So I'm taking care of me.
Take
Um,
care of yourself.
yeah, and it's just like it's super important, especially going the holidays. And
Yeah.
I would prefer to end on a really happy joy note, but please understand, folks, the holidays are brutal.
The
Suicide
holidays are very brutal,
the
and not every,
suicide goes up a ton
yeah,
between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. It just does.
yeah,
So pick up that phone a little bit more often. Check in, just say hi, invite someone over to dinner, whether you think they're taken care of or not, because like you were talking about the Colonel, it's like even if you think someone has all their stuff together and they're not alone, they may not feel that way.
hmm,
So, yes,
absolutely,
my Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa wish for everyone is reach out and invite someone over for the holidays.
absolutely. That's great. That's great stuff there. That's great advice.
So, all right, sir. Well, thank you so much for your time again. And I will see you the East Coast talking to the West Coast, and we will save the world together.
I know, seriously.
All right.
Yeah. All right,
Goodbye
guys.
now.
Have a nice Saturday. Peace out.
There you go. Oh, we got to hit the button twice.